The truth about work culture. Let's have a conversation about that. Hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Let's rock out, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think we've had enough conversations about how much hustle culture is like actually killing all of us. Because I'm burnt the fuck out. And I don't know how much longer I can do this, and it's not funny. Like, I'm gonna cry if I don't laugh right now. I have a whole full-time job. Like, I have 2 degrees. I have a full-time job. I'm a supervisor in a lab, and I have to pick up a second job to be able to pay for daycare so that my daughter can go to the first job so that I can afford food and rent and gas and all this shit. All the while, I'm also a full-time student to get my third college degree because I
Sound like first world problems. I thought they was going to, honestly, I haven't seen this yet. I thought they was going to talk about work culture, hustle culture. Um, and they're talking about, I guess these TikToks specifically or these clips specifically are talking about what you need to do in order to continue to level up. But I don't really understand. So first of all, nobody told you to be a single baby mama because that's what she just communicated. Secondly, nobody told you to get 3 degrees. That's on you. Third, if you got to do what you got to do in order to make sure that your kid is taken care of, then that sounds like what you advocated for. Welcome to being a modern woman. This is what y'all wanted. We don't get days off. Have y'all noticed that even though I was crisscrossing the country, I took 2 flights in less than 24 hours. Less than 24 hours, I did 2 flights in less than 24 hours. Went to a basketball game, went to the Phoenix Suns Pistons last night, went to going to the Golden State Pistons tonight, right? Met up with people, did live streams, Friday, never missed, whatever. Let me ask y'all a question. I didn't take no time off from my regular job as far as PTO or anything like that. I hit on all cylinders, did presentations, even had to get off of the live stream on Friday before 2:30 in order to do so. Daylight savings or pushback or whatever, came back and forth or whatever, so on and so forth, right? Did y'all get any misses from a content perspective? I had editors calling me, stuff was on fire over there, and I'm not talking about literal fire. I'm talking about certain things was happening. Guess what? Behind the scenes, everything went off smooth without a hitch. As a matter of fact, we did more content and we released more content than we normally do. Nobody cares. People want what they want. They don't care about what you said or what you got going on. This is the thing that men have been dealing with for years. Men have been dealing with this for years. My grandfather on my mother's side had 2 jobs his entire life. He worked at the post office and then he always had a second job. And that was back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. My grandfather, up until the time that he died, way back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, this is not a new phenomenon. This is not something that is different from what they've been doing for over the past 60, 70 years. People have always had a hustle and a job, or worked a job and went to school, or did 2 jobs and went to school, had a full-time job, a part-time job, and was going to school. You got it easier because now you can go to school online and you probably work from home on one job and you're probably doing 2 jobs at the same time. This is not new. I don't know why everybody is acting like this is a new thing. Men for years, forever, have always did whatever it took in order for them to continue to feed their family. This is not new. This is new for you because you've just now been had the opportunity to get the thing that you've been asking for. You wanted to get same rights, equal pay. You wanted to get the same work. You wanted to have the opportunity to go to school, whatever. Nobody is making you have a child. Nobody is making you have a child out of wedlock, and nobody is forcing you to go and get 3 degrees. You have the freedom. This is the thing that America promises you. The pursuit of happiness. It didn't tell you was going to be successful. It didn't tell you was guaranteed to be able to get a livable wage. It didn't tell you anything. You get what you make. You are whatever it is that you've created for yourself, and you live with the results regardless of the hand that you was dealt. Welcome to 2023, where you have the opportunity to choose for yourself. Nobody cares about your problems, ma'am.
I don't like my full-time job anymore and I'm not fulfilled.
Aw.
And like, I live in this very
Aw.
weird world of like, I deserve to have this life that I like and I should get to travel and get to take my daughter to do things and stuff. And also, like, I'm literally breaking my body and my mind and my spirit by having to work all of this and do all of this stuff. And for
Aw.
what? Right now, I'm just in one of those times that I go through about once every 3 to 6 months where I'm just like, what's really going on here? We can never.
It's called life. Our fathers and our grandfathers worked 30 and 50 years just to be able to retire and die within 19 months after they retired from the plant. Welcome. Welcome.
Win against capitalism. I have to work 60 hours a week and make $80,000 a year to make ends meet. That's insane.
It's not.
I can't even begin to wrap my head around it. And then I start spiraling. For those of you that are new here, hi, I'm Kat. I'm an addict. I've been in recovery for about 7 years from IV, meth, and heroin. And
hold on, we just gonna skip over that part? Can we please rewind? Are we wait, we just gonna skip over that part? The fact that she's still making $80,000 a year, she got a kid and she got a good job and all of this stuff, and she has 3 degrees. Was she serious about that or no? I just want to make sure that we not. I just want to make sure that we all on the same page. Was she serious about that last part, or was that a joke? Or was that a joke? It looked like that was serious because she said it too fast. And usually you got to let me hold on. Just give me 1 second. I just need to know.
For those of you that are new here, hi, I'm Kat. I'm an addict. I've been in recovery for about 7 years from IV, meth, and heroin. And
Not meth and heroin. Not meth and heroin at the same time. Jesus.
pulling myself out of all that and having a job and like doing the stuff that's supposed to help you and like a productive member of society is a lot of how I'm proud of myself. And
So she was serious about that. That wasn't a joke. She really did do all of that stuff. Oh man. Shout out to Highly Offensive. Definitely gonna be reading that super chat shortly. We're not just gonna skip over the meth and heroin addict. I don't even know what IV is. Y'all know what IV is? Is that a new thing? Fentanyl, horse tranquilizer, what is that? Jesus. And somebody gonna say that she deserves a good man too.
recovery. So when I get in these moods, it's just like, what the fuck is all of this for? Why did I go through hell
This is crazy.
to just go through hell again? Sober. And I like being sober. I like being clean. This is not what this is about. But it's the principle of like, all of this shit is for what?
But Americans' obsession with hustle culture is just.
I'm just gonna say that was a wild first person. I wasn't expecting that. Let's see if we can get a couple more in here before I get y'all going throughout the day. That's crazy.
Utterly ridiculous.
It's not an obsession, it's a necessity. Our country doesn't care about us like how yours does. Not all of us want to have 3 jobs to pay rent. Not all of us want to be on food stamps because we can't afford anything other than housing. You know how many of us would love to have like one job at a cafe on the coast of like Sweden and then not have to worry about anything? Hint, it's probably everyone who isn't already well off. And what is it now? 50% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck because they're one financial decision away from being homeless? Like,
Yo, I'm so tired of people whining and complaining like little bees. Yo, nobody is making any of you guys do any of the stuff that you feel like you're entitled to in order to live the life that you want to live. Stop whining. I hate criers, especially grown men that got LED lighting in the back of his background and headphones on. Man, grow up, bro. Don't nobody care about your problems. Man up. Just because you want to sip coffee and live an Instagram photography lifestyle on the coast, working in a coffee shop, being a barista, and think that you're supposed to live in the best spaces possible. Get out of here with that. See, and this is how you get socialism, because you got these liberals that's walking around coddled and they never actually did any real work in their life, and so they don't know what that hustle culture is going to be like.
out on the street. That's ridiculous. It's not a desire. It's not an obsession with hustle
Shout out to
culture.
Jason Lee. I'm gonna be
We
reading that
need
super chat
it
shortly.
to survive.
Should never be at home. That's what I tell young people. Home is for 7 hours of sleep, and that's it.
I agree.
The amount of time you spend at home is inversely correlated to
That's why I got an office.
professionally and romantically.
That's literally why I got a
You
studio.
need to be out of the house.
So, for 8 hours in the day, I am sleeping. For 9 hours a day, I'm at work. I got these 2 hours right here, which is getting ready for work.
Not the illustrations.
Then I have this time over here that is open for fun and hijinks. I need to figure out how to have a fulfilling life in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours each day.
That's a lot.
Hi, I'm a burned out individual contributor.
That's 35 hours a week that you have to be able to do what you actually, with the other 2 hours. That's like 45 hours a week, 48 hours a week that you can do what you want to do.
Company. I've made the mistake of taking my job way too seriously when I joined my company and demonstrated all my skills to my employer. I mean, I really hit the ground running when I started. As a result, my boss decided to reward me by delegating all their work to me and rebranding it as Reach Projects. They claim these projects will get me to the quote-unquote next level. I now basically have 2 jobs and haven't seen much of a pay raise or a promotion in years. Even though I've grown incredibly cynical, I have no choice but to excel every day to keep my job. And since I'm so busy, I barely have time to look for a new job. I guess I got a serious case of what they call Stockholm Syndrome. I digress.
Yo, it's so many weak people. There's so many weak people out here in these streets.
America's concept of an 8-hour workday is some outdated bullshit. And let me explain why. We have 2 employees, employee A and employee B. Both have an 8-hour window to complete the same exact 3 tasks. And both of them are paid $300 per day. Employee A is very efficient and they are able to finish all 3 tasks in a 3-hour period of time. While employee B takes 7 hours to complete the exact same 3 tasks. I should also note that we're to assume the quality of the work and the execution is also the same. So employee A now has 5 hours left in their day while employee B only has 1 hour. Manager C comes around and sees that employee A was able to finish all 3 tasks in a 3-hour period.
And let me just also mention that her drawing skills are impeccable. Incredible handwriting.
And what does Manager C do? That's right. They task employee A with more work. Employee A is rewarded for their efficiency, not with more money, not with more time off. No, they're rewarded for their efficiency with more work.
This sounds like, honestly, this just sounds like complaining. It really does, bro. It just sounds like complaining. Like, if you don't like your job or you don't like the fact that you work hard or whatever, then go and get another job. They're paying you on an hourly basis for you to be productive at that space. It's not based off of a comparison with another employee in order to determine how much work that you do, which is one of the reasons why working from home is very difficult for a lot of managers and companies, because they realize that the inefficiencies that come along with that and that they're not maximizing the amount of money that they're making as a result of paying you for your time is difficult for them. It's called capitalism. And if you believe, listen, here's the thing. Let's just put it like this. If you believe that you can do better, then go and start your own business. And the reason why you don't start your own business and you go and compete is because you're not as good as you think you are. When you get a job, they are paying you for your time, not for you to compare yourself against somebody else. If you want to eat, sleep, and swim on your own, then you can go and start your own business, and then you can create as much time as you want for yourself. But what most people found is that they'd rather go back to work. What most people found is that they'd rather go back to work. You know why? They'd rather go back to work because it was much easier than them trying to run the business on their own. Because then you got to be the marketing department, then you got to be the production, then you got to be the project manager, and you got to be the IT person, and you got to come up with your own website, and you got to be the social media manager, and you got to be the IT networking person, and you got to put more money into reinvesting into it, and you got to be the research and development department, and you realize that is much, much, much more difficult, even though you'd be 100 times more productive than you would have for your employer. It doesn't necessarily translates into more money either, because now you're making half or a quarter of the money if you even profitable at all. And so if you really want to understand hustle culture, I think that everybody should go and start their own business, because A, it's either going to show you what you're made of, or B, it's going to show you that you're more suited to be a worker. And very few people was actually suited to even be able to run their own business. They don't understand what comes along with it. Very few people understand what it takes to run a small business. And so they don't appreciate what they have, because all they've ever known is being coddled and given something. And so they compare themselves against somebody else that's slacking, instead of just doing what they supposed to do and then going home and taking care of your business. I think most people need to open up their own business. Most people need to open up their, because then you would appreciate it more. You would look at it differently. You would appreciate it more. You will work 10 times more. You eat what you kill. And if you don't get up and work in the morning, you don't make no money. If you don't get up and work in the morning, you don't make money. Ain't no vacations. Ain't no PTO days. It ain't no 401k matches. Ain't no Roth IRA matches. Ain't nothing. Nothing but you eat what you kill. And if you do really good one month, it's a strong possibility that you might not do as well the next month. So you got to be able to have that 1 month that you made bridge the gap over the next month. That's what real running the business is about. And before you ever make any money, you just throwing money and money and money and money and money into it. And you don't even know if it's going to translate into being successful. Yet when you have all of these coddled people that say, eat the rich, but they ain't never started nothing, built nothing, or did anything on their own. And more importantly, they ain't never even employed nobody else. You don't know what it's like to make sure that you have to meet payroll every week, regardless of whether or not you're profitable or not, because these people traded in their time for their money. And the contract that you got set up is that they actually get paid per hour, regardless of whether or not the company is profitable or not. You don't know nothing about it. You don't know nothing about it. That's why they all coddled. That's why they whining. That's why they complaining. You don't know what it's like to start your own and build it yourself. You ain't never built nothing. You ain't never did nothing. Everything you got is because somebody else gave it to you. Coddled culture is just going to be the downfall of this country, I'm telling you.